Shaky internet. Shaky internet. But we're going to be okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Blathering Live. I'm Ken Knapsack. We are about to blather, my friends. We're about to blather here on a Monday. Good to be back in the cockpit on the flight deck. I don't care what you call it. My cigarette's starting to come apart. Hey. Bear with me, too. If you're watching and you're like, hey, you look a little pixelated. I think I'm okay. Currently uploading a video, a Force Center episode for tomorrow. A Force Center episode that has swear words in it. The Force Center episode tomorrow, not the one that aired today live, the one that airs tomorrow, the news episode. Kathleen Kennedy speaks, swear words in it. Just warning you. I'm back. Saturday we were off. I want to apologize if I scared anyone. I don't think I did. I didn't get any blue sky posts to see if my body needed to be kicked until it moved. I forgot I had scheduled a stream for Saturday, the normal Saturday night special, if you will, of the Blathering. And then I announced on Thursday I might not do a show on Saturday. I might take the Saturday night off. And I ended up doing that, but I forgot the live stream is still up. So some of you might have been like, he's dead. He did it. He's fine. He's gone. But I'm here and I'm rested. Tonight on the show, it's got a fun show tonight because we're going to highlight someone doing something good and talk about people making a difference in this troubled world. Eric Elliott says they swore in Andor. It's canon. That's true. That's a great one. Jeff Saunders, a.k.a. Hillbilly Scribs, a.k.a. Scribbler Scribby Scrib. I just made that up. We call him Scribbler sometimes. He has a lot of wonderful names. I sometimes call him an angel on earth. I don't know if he approves of that one. That's me. He's one of the sweetest human beings I know, and he puts his money where his mouth is and does a lot of great work in his job every day, but every year works with the fine folks at the St. Baldricks Foundation, and he has a shave-a-thon event coming up in San Antonio March 8th, and we highlight this every year. It's the least I could do to help Jeff spread good tidings and cheer and help and funds and money and awareness for the horrors of childhood cancers. So that is coming up here very quickly. Jeff's going to call it. It's a yearly tradition now. That I love. And there's full interviews Jeff has here on the channel, other things he's done. But he's going to swing through here for a few minutes because he might need a nap. I don't know. And we're going to talk about it. And you have a chance to donate. I think if you're the pinned comment on YouTube and then on Facebook and Twitch, if you're watching live, it's probably easy to scroll on up. You get the direct link to support Jeff and what's going on here. So a lot of you are always pretty... generous with me with super chats, super blathers. We already got one from Tully I'll read now. But hey, if you're thinking of throwing something my way today, always, that's a great idea. Love that. Jeff's doing something better than just me blathering here. So we'll be talking to Jeff here in just a few minutes. We got 16 seconds of sports. I just assumed Steve's here. Okay, we're going to do 16 seconds of sports. Your calls, you can be a channel member and a Patreon supporter and get your calls in. A couple things on the mind. Looking at the news, new tariffs are here. Check out that. And if you're in the farming business, the agriculture business, brace for impact. Here we go. But that one I didn't have a chance to live in. I just wanted to highlight this. I'm going to do the worst Oscar breakdown ever here in about 2 minutes. But I watched some WWE this weekend, watched Elimination Chamber, watched John Cena do something he's never done before. I don't want to spoil it, but by now you probably know if you're a wrestling fan. He turned heel, okay? Kind of, maybe. It's a long play story, I think. It was fun to watch. But in that vein, clicking on the news just minutes ago, but from the first story says published 17 hours ago, but updated 22 minutes ago. I don't know, that's the difference. Linda McMahon, wife of Vincent Kennedy McMahon, the World Wrestling Federation turned World Wrestling Entertainment. She's confirmed as the the department head of course, the Department of Education. Senate confirmed Linda McMahon, and she's now in charge of the department. That, of course, we know the president and his administration has criticized and seeks to dismantle. dismantle, not, streamline, see where the actual waste is or see where we can fix things, because that's realistic across the board for me in many agencies and departments. They want to seek to dismantle it, because why not destroy education in many ways, shapes, and forms? During a confirmation hearing, this is the only thing I want to highlight here on the news tonight. During a confirmation hearing, Linda McMahon, distanced herself from Trump's rhetoric and recognized Congress's authority to close the department. She played nice and said, yes, you have the authority to close it or not, which was key, because Doge is just sweeping through and circumnavigating those kind of rules. McMahon said she's committed to preserving Title I funds for low-income schools and Pell Grants for low-income college students. And then she says she aims for the Education Department to operate more efficiently instead of defunding programs, according to her statement. So I just want to put that out there on the record, that maybe we as a team, because just watch how this goes. I want to track a lie in real time, whether or not she's lying or not, or just saying the right things, or the administration's going to, overrule. I don't know. Don't care. It's the same result. Let's track this. Let's see what happens. If she preserves Title I, if she preserves Pell Grants, if she says, no, Congress, we can't just go ahead and shut things down. You gotta approve that. Let's see if we can track that here. All right. So she's taken a steel chair to the Department of Education. Absolutely. I think that's what they're going to want to do. I'm going to save that article. Good call, Rich. Let me save it for later. Thank you, Rich. Rich T, coming through in the clutch. All right, yesterday was the 97th Academy Awards. I did not watch it, but I want to make sure I'm not saying that in the, I didn't watch that. I'm a snooty snoot. I just actually kind of forgot it was yesterday. If I had a chance, I might have swung through and watched it. I like Conan O'Brien. Now, I did end up watching his monologue a little bit later on the internet, this information superhighway that you might have heard of. And I like the monologue. The monologue, hosting the Academy Awards, I'll never be in that position. But that's one of the hardest jobs in entertainment. And look, there's a lot of harder things in the world. Let's be clear. And I think that's maybe how Conan approached it too. But in terms of just entertainment jobs and comedians and actors and hosts, I hosting the Oscars is an esteemed job to get, but something I wouldn't want to touch without the right team around you. And it seems like Conan had it. What I loved about his monologue, I thought it was funny. I thought he did the jokes that you needed to do. I thought he took some big swings. The whole thing with the star of Emilia Perez and her tweets and everything, that was got quite a reaction from the industry crowd. The jokes were solid, tepid at worst, insightful at best. But I loved his song that ended. The whole "I'm not going to waste your time," while he literally wastes our time with the song. It was so Simpsons-y. It was so what Conan O'Brien has done for so much of his career, from the very beginning, from before the beginning. My Groundlings director, the final Groundlings director I had, Karen Mariyama, was in the Groundlings classes with Conan O'Brien, and she would tell me wonderful stories of he just was by himself, 4 rows back, just dreaming up the most bizarre, wonderful things he could. He's always been true to himself. He's both an attention hog and the quiet kid in the corner, and it's just rolled up into one weird ball of funny. And I loved that song. He stayed true to himself in a calm, collected, confident way. It was a good monologue. And he hosted the show well from what I saw with the clip. So I hope he comes back. So you all let me know about that. But I wanted to do, we got Jeff Saunders. I got to get Jeff Saunders on because yes, Ben says, I like his approach. That song was definitely written by the dude that wrote Marge vs. Monorail. Yeah. And your homie wrote the one about Kendrick. That's wonderful. Yeah, it was monorail energy there. Looking at the winners, I like I said, I don't watch movies anymore, and it's not just some kind of identity I have. I've heard these in name, but Honora, I didn't hear Honora. I didn't know what Honora was until last night. I didn't know who Mickey Madison or Mikey Madison. A winner, first Gen Z winner of a major Oscar. Congratulations. I know a lot of people were pulling for Demi Moore, if you will. Adrian Brody. I know he got a lot of shit for his speech going too long and being a bit pompous. That's what he does. But I love him in Winning Time. And last night, this gave me the opportunity to scream about Winning Time being canceled on Max. And his Pat Riley turn is one of my favorite things on television ever. Best supporting actor, Kieran Culkin. This is amazing. We got ourselves our first Father of the Bride cast member win an Oscar in the Steve Martin version. Not the Spencer Tracy version, obviously. Congratulations to Culkin winning an Oscar. I like Macaulay Culkin. He's a big wrestling fan too. He did the best with his life and career, and he's in a good spot now. It's so good to see where Macaulay Culkin ended up from that rock star beyond comprehension beginning to now. But Kieran Culkin's he's come from the little character not cameos, but smaller parts in his brother's shadow to being the absolute superstar that he is. So congratulations, Zoe Saldana, winner as well. And then Sean Baker, Sean Baker here. I don't know who this guy is. It's fascinating. He set a record. The most wins for like an individual since Walt Disney. The one whose head is now on ice beneath Disneyland. True story. I think. That's amazing. That's impressive. So, anyways, other than that, it was a weird spot to be in. Dune 2 won Best Visual Effects and Sound, and maybe Best Sex. I didn't see it. I don't know. Is there a sex scene in it? Who won the score? Daniel Blumberg. Oh, John Powell was nominated for Wicked. I didn't know he was part of Wicked. Oh, it's amazing stuff. Anyways, this is all boring, and that's my point. That's my point. I'm happy for the Oscar fans out there. I'm happy for the movie fans out there. I love seeing all my friends get their little sheets ready, get their little hors d'oeuvres ready, or order the foods and make the drinks. My pal Robbie Smith, Robbie, sending me pictures. But I'm happy that I've reached the point from someone who worked in movie news to now not knowing the Oscars were on. It's been a great run for me as a young person caring about pop culture. I found new wrinkles on my face today. I didn't watch the Oscars. We're on to a new area. There you go. That is the worst Oscar breakdown ever. Mikey Madison was also in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That I did know. So there you go. All right. 898 Forum says, wish the Oscars actually gave high fiction their nod. That might be the thing for me. That might be the thing. Once you got the Return of the King nod, which was like, all right, fine, Peter Jackson. It's the Academy doesn't have my interest in mind. This is why I don't follow the Grammys too. How many wins did the Beatles have versus, Pat Boone? That's why I don't go for these awards. Egg on the Last is here, says, look, I know that seeing your famous face is bright and cloudy day. Well, this ain't no famous face. I can walk through Burbank unscathed these days. But thank you for the sentiments. Addie says, some 4 cops just walked into my building with me. All right. Well, Addie, keep us updated. And James, UK James, checking in. Gifting 5 memberships to the channel. That is good. All right. So we got Jeff Saunders here. I got to get this going. We're going to get Jeff camera ready. Jeff, are you camera ready? Are you camera ready? Give me a thumbs up. Yeah, he's ready. Okay. We do have a super blather I'm going to get to from Tully. Oh, it disappeared because it always disappears. All right. Let me scroll up and answer this question from Tully. Tully made a very generous super chat. She says, hi, Ken. I've had a bad day on the internet. I tend to think of your shows as comfort. I hope my interactions with you and your co-hosts have never come off as anything but friendly. Yeah, no, here, I'm going to be, Tully, first of all, absolutely love that you're here. Absolutely appreciate you popping up here, Force Center, anytime with Ken and Alden. You are welcomed and appreciated. I think on any time I learned real quick that you love to jump in the fray. You love to speak your mind. And whether or not you and I are always in the same bucket, sometimes I'm like, wow, look, I don't want I don't want to murder Taylor Swift, so, and you don't either. But once I got where you're coming from, and I knew that it was all part of the energy you were bringing to the community. Yeah, absolutely. I don't want. I hope there was no other thoughts of me and my hosts that I work with on anything. You are so appreciated here. So there you go. If you're all having a rough time, you've come to the right spot. James, thanks for the memberships, and then have a good night's sleep. Sandman's calling. Okay, let's do this. He's got what? What is this? Oh, is this a grandpappy name? All right, welcome to the show, Jeff Saunders. What name? What? Why are you calling yourself Pappy now too? Do I have to learn a new name, Jeffrey?
Yes, you do.
Oh, okay. Is this your grandfather name?
That's my grandfather name. Yeah, yeah. Last year, almost a year ago, she'll be a year old in June. I became a grandfather. So yeah. Uh, for right now, I'm Pappy. But as these things go, once she learns how to talk, whatever she calls me will be my name.
Yeah, you. First of all, it's scary that someone in my age group is just celebrating being a grandfather, and I'm over here like, I hope I get to keep my PS5. I could hear the warmth in your already warm voice. You're at a good spot here, aren't you, Pappy?
100%.
Mm-hmm. Jeff Saunders is here, which means Christy McGee's here. Padlock McGee's here. Love hearing that. So Jeff, this has become a wonderful tradition in one way because I love you and I love what you do, but also it speaks to the serious ongoing battle with cancer research, cancer support, cancer funds, cancer comfort, anything related to this horrible disease. And this is your 10th year working with St. Baldricks. Is that correct, or roughly?
Yes, yes. This will be year 10 that I brave the shave and go bald for these kids.
Mm. Mm. 10 years. 10
Yeah.
years, man. It's crazy. Yeah, it's Chris. I said padlock. I meant ball drop McGee. But what do you want from me?
I'm gonna start calling her Padlock.
Padlock McGee. Well, because she's. I'll tell you why. Christy McGee's got a lock around her heart, and none of us have the key. And that's what it is. Give Jeff money. So, all right. So, Jeff, for those who are maybe new to the show or haven't been here for the last couple of years when I've been fortunate enough to bring you on, explain, first of all, explain what you do. The theme of this episode is people doing good things here, people making a difference. Your job makes a difference every day. And I know we can joke about you saying, hey, I ain't no hero. And I respect that. I'm not here to put a cape on you that doesn't need to be there or that you don't want there. But explain your job, explain how you got involved with St. Baldricks, and the importance of the ongoing support for this organization.
Yeah. Well, first off, Lando capes are always okay.
Okay, we can put a Lando cape on you? Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got one.
I'll even wear like a Lobot thing on my head.
You got one now.
Because I'll be bald in a few days, so it'll work. But no, what I do is about 11 years ago, I became a nurse. And for the entire time I've been a registered nurse, I've worked with children's oncology and bone marrow transplant. I work nights, so I'm the guy telling these kids really bad, cheesy dad jokes and tucking them in before they go to, or when they go to bed, and making sure that they're doing okay throughout the night. It's I think there's a little bit of misconception in this type of work that it's all like tears and heartbreak.
Right.
We do have a lot of victories, and at the end of the day, these kids are just there trying to be kids, and we try to help them do that as much as we can. But kind of transitioning to the charity, one thing that I've witnessed from personal experience is some of the changes in cancer treatments over the years. I've actually witnessed some medications go through being on study, actually becoming like the gold standard for treating some of these diseases.
Oh wow!
So that's like I know how important the research is, and how desperately that the research needs to continue, because although a lot has improved, there's still a long ways to go. The I want to say like the mortality rate is still around 20%, So
Mm,
if you know 5 kids,
mm,
if they all have cancer, by
mm,
statistically, one of them is not going to make it.
mm.
So that's very sobering, and that's it really puts a big exclamation point on the need to keep on funding these studies.
Yeah. Yeah, and St. Baldricks has been going for a bit.
Mhm.
And after you got involved, how did you get involved with it back in the day? 10 years ago now.
Yeah, yeah. So when I started working as a nurse, I started working like in the summer. I think the
Mm,
first year I was there, right after I graduated from nursing school, and
mm,
I missed out on the St. Baldrick's event that year because they usually do them in March around
yeah.
St. Patrick's Day. But one of the doctors that was in our hospital at that time, one of our bone marrow transplant doctors, Dr. Troy Quigg, he was the team captain of our St. Baldrick's team, and he talked me into doing it.
Mm,
And I did it the first year, and I really haven't looked back. I've kept doing it, and then when Troy left, he kind of handed over the reins of team captain to me.
nice.
So for 7 years now, I've been our team captain, and then this year is kind of I've taken on like some new responsibilities. I was invited to be a part of the planning committee for our big shave event in San Antonio.
Mm,
And at that shave event, we have teams from all over the area. So all of the children's hospitals, especially the ones that have like a children's oncology department,
mm-hmm,
they're represented there, along with a lot of the nonprofits that help this population.
mm.
They have teams there. One of the things that I feel like I'm like going down a bunch of
No, no,
rabbit
I love
trails
this,
here.
man. I love this.
But one of the things that you see time and time again, and like if you're ever looking for signs that hope is alive in the world, uh,
We are, Jeffrey. We are.
yes. So there are so many organizations that help these children and their families
Yeah.
that are started by parents who lost a child,
Mm, mm,
parents who are coming out of what I would imagine would be like the hardest and most difficult thing a parent could go through. And
yeah.
instead of like going deep in a hole and forgetting about the world around them, they like stand tall and help all these
Mm,
others who are going through what they went through.
yeah.
And it amazes me every time. And I have
Mm.
to hit the brakes a little bit, or I'll get a little misty.
That's that's completely understandable. Especially when it's about people helping when they have every reason to not anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
to not have to reface the trauma and the horror and the loss that they felt, but to push past that and try to make someone else's life a little bit better. It's not a small feat, and it can move you.
yeah, yeah. And there are tons of them out there. One of the things that whenever I'm introduced and
Mm,
people will find out what I do.
mm,
Like one of the most common reactions I get is, "I could never do that. I don't know how you do that."
mm-hmm.
And that's not a knock on anyone that's ever said that to me because
Right.
I get where that comes from. But
Yeah.
I've done a lot of thinking over the years, like, what is it exactly I do that's
Yeah.
so that would
Oh.
be hard for people? And I get like the clinical part of it,
Mm,
like the skill part as a nurse and and being around like not always during the prettiest part
yeah.
of cancer. But like if I like boil what I do down to like the simplest thing, all I do is I care about kids with cancer and I
Yeah.
care for kids with cancer. And I think that caring about kids with cancer is something that we all share. I think
Yeah.
that's something more common than people
Mm,
probably think about on the daily,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
and caring for kids with cancer can look a lot of different ways. You don't
Mm,
have to be a nurse, you don't have to be a doctor, you don't have to work in a hospital or clinic. Like like I mentioned, a lot of these families have started charity foundations to
Yeah.
honor the kids. They're all over the place. I mean, you can.
Mm.
I'm here talking about St. Baldricks tonight, but there are
Yeah.
so many charities and organizations out there that you can help with a few dollars, and
Mm.
doing that at the end of the day, I mean, we're all doing the same thing. We're caring for these kids.
Yeah. No, and the funds are needed, and as we see in the news headlines every day, with funding stopping and
Yeah,
research ending and research going away, and the foundations of the research being swept under the legs of everyone trying to get the good work done. And like you're saying, that you've seen it in action. You've seen a trial med become the med. And
yeah.
so ongoing support for this stuff, but also the support for those going through it is
Mhm.
maybe even more the focus of what you're doing there. And with the shave-a-thons, why you're shaving your head and why you do this every year, that is very much about creating an atmosphere of joy around the helping, right?
Yep, yep. It's the at the end of the day, these are kids, and there is a childlike just joy and fun, laughter that we infuse into these events.
Mm,
We'll have our big event on Saturday, and
yeah.
I've signed up to shave my head there. It's going to be very difficult for me not to shave my head on Friday,
Yeah.
uh, because at Friday afternoon we're going to have a small shave party at the hospital,
Mm.
and when we do that, we actually get the kids that we're taking care of there on the unit to do the shaving. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I'm seeing that, and it's going to be real hard for me not to sit down in one of the chairs and let the kids go to town on my head.
Yeah. And you're MC, and you've been, look, you've been every once in a while sneaking out to some open mic nights at comedy
I
clubs
have, I
here.
have, I
So
have.
are you firing up the jokes for this MC here? How do you get through that? That might be tougher than the Oscars.
It is hard, and like I've only written one like hospital related joke, and I don't know how well it lands. It's about hope and about seeing the colostomy bag as half full. Uh,
I love that.
so I don't know. I need to work on some more there.
I love that. I love that. So if you're watching tonight or watching later, or if you're listening to on the audio version, I do have I put the link up, and then I always forget to drop it here on my own page so that I could see it. There it is. So there is a general donation. You can go to stbaldricks.org and you can donate anytime of the year. They are, obviously in need of support all through the year. But I dropped the link in chat. But for those listening, stbaldricks.org/participants/Jeff Saunders, not Sanders, Swanders.
I'm
Drop
not
that U
doing
in there.
Sanders.
Yeah, that is the direct, stbaldricks.org/participants/Jeff Saunders. He has set a goal for 1,500 for this shave-a-thon in San Antonio, which is located at the Smoke Sky Bar barbecue restaurant. If you're local, head on out.
Yeah.
And Jeff, you're really, really, really close to this goal by the end of the week. Currently at 12:34. So anyone here tonight listening, anyone listening later, go ahead and consider supporting directly so Jeff can reach the goal. What does these goals get you on the actual shave day, Jeffrey?
So just a warm feeling inside, really. No, the goal and the link you provided, like if anyone is like trying to type that in,
Mm-hmm.
once you get the stbaldricks.org part, you can donate. It all goes to the same place.
Right.
If you go all the way to the end and include my link, it goes toward my totals. If you can just donate to St. Baldrick's, that's the main thing. But as far as my goals, I've set milestones, and I do this every year,
Yeah.
and I'm just over a little over $1,000 right now. So the
Mm.
$1,000 milestone was to dye my hair.
Yeah.
So it turned green yesterday.
I did. I was
Uh,
gonna. I
yeah,
saw it blue on Instagram, but it looks a little green now.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. That works.
And but one of the goals I did this year that's been like the most kind of rewarding for me was at the $500 mark. I made a decision that for every $100 that comes in, I go for a walk. I walk a mile,
Mm,
and I dedicate that mile to a child or young person that I've gotten to know over the years,
mm,
who's going through their cancer journey. Some of these I've dedicated to children who are in remission and cancer free and doing great. Some of these I've donated to kids that are going through treatment right now.
mm,
And some of these I've donated to kids that aren't with us anymore. And it's really allowed me to think back and focus on why I do this, why I do the
mm,
charity stuff, but also why I do my job.
mm.
And I've had like a lot of sweet memories come back to me
Yeah.
going on these walks. Um,
Mm.
and yeah, I keep getting close to getting mushy and misty, and I don't want to do that.
Well, you got 10 years of doing this, but that's 10 years of memories and 10 years of victories, 10 years of losses,
Yeah.
10 years of a lot of emotion. So it makes a lot of sense. So, a couple things in closing here, Jeff, and I want to get you back to your life here. But um, if you hit the 1500, what does that do? Do you airdrop into a hospital?
So no,
We want to hit that final goal here.
so some it's kind of a silly goal. I think the one I have for $1,500
Hmm.
is I am doing a pub crawl the night before,
And I'm in.
and it's in downtown San Antonio. If I hit the $15 or the not the
Hmm.
$15, the $1,500 mark,
Yeah.
I am going all in 100% St. Baldricks for this pub crawl.
Yeah.
So I will be like pandering and asking for donations from the generous drunks of San Antonio, Texas. Uh,
Oh, this is great. Beautiful.
but yeah, that's my $1,500 goal.
So if we could help get you up to 1500, the night before the shave-a-thon, you're gonna take the sacrifice to go drinking.
Yeah.
Big sacrifice for all of us. We appreciate it. And then you're
Well,
gonna raise more funds for cancer
yes,
research from the drunks
that'll
of
be
San Antonio.
the part that'll be the sacrifice on my part. I will not do so much of the
Mm,
drinking, and I will do more of the
yeah.
the raising funds that night.
Beautiful. Final thought here, Jeff. In a world that is just anywhere you look, with the news headlines down the street, wherever you want to check in, it can get overwhelming. And there's so many people going through things. And it's not just, I'm not even just talking about the politics of the day or the headlines. I'm just talking everywhere around. There could be darkness. Someone like you, and I know your humility is real because it's what you deal with. This is what you do every day. This is who you are. But when we're looking for people who make a difference, and we're trying to make ourselves get up and do something, how for 10 plus years now, you asked and people say, I couldn't do it. I know you've had dark days. I know you've had tough days. What is your simple message to someone who might be trying to make a difference but doesn't feel like it's working, or doesn't feel like it's enough, or it was overwhelmed by the desire to do more? What's your big picture thoughts and advice for those out there in the world
Um,
doing good?
okay, this is about to turn into one of my sandbox
We
walks.
need we need it.
Uh, with every cloud, there really are silver linings. The trick is you sometimes have to squint real hard to see them, but they're there. And regardless of how dark things get, and sometimes you have to make things dark by squinting to see the good out there. But it is out there, um, and things in this world are cyclical.
Mm,
When things get hard, when things get tough, when you want to bang your head against the wall because you don't understand why things are going on that are going on, there is like another side to that. It will pass. So hope is something that we all have a capacity for.
mm,
We just have to find it and
mm.
hold on to it, and just believe that things will get better because historically they do.
I'm even writing this down. Hope is we all have the capacity for hope. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I think so. Just kind of
I
making that up as I went.
Yeah, yeah. No, that is beautiful. Even in your darkest days, and I absolutely always appreciate and love what you do, Jeff, and just absolutely adore
Oh, also,
and yeah, yeah. Please
one
cut
other
me off
thing,
and
also,
finish.
like
Say something smart.
the population of this world is not one.
Oh, that's good.
You're not alone.
Yeah, that's good. LQ, thank you for the donation. Use the link to donate. You're so close to the goal. Yeah. Ball drop McGee. Got that right this time. Says less than $200 until the final goal. We are gonna, Jeff. I predict we're gonna get you to this 1,500. So gear up, get ready,
I
hydrate. You're gonna be walking
yes,
around San Antonio talking to drunks, getting money for cancer research.
shoot, yeah. I might have to make myself like a sandwich board
That's
and
what
like
I'm kind of thinking.
one of those spinner signs.
That's what I'm thinking. I think yeah, absolutely. You walk into the bar like that, just with an empty
Yeah.
mug. And I think you're going to do well. Jeff, I absolutely always love talking to you. Whether it's at a Star Wars celebration when we're both a bit tipsy and you're walking up to a drive-thru at Del Taco, or when you're focused on spreading love and hope to people around you that need it. Appreciate it. So, we're going to do this again next year. And I keep saying one of these years we'll have to do a blather gather and
Yeah.
go support in person, and maybe help you on that pub
Yeah,
crawl
well,
next time.
or maybe one of these years I'll take a break from doing it here and I'll cruise out west.
Hey, absolutely. You name it. We can get a comedy club on board real fast to help do something big there. So once again, for those looking to support Jeff directly, if you're watching live or on YouTube, the link is in the description. But for those listening, stbaldricks.org/participants/Jeff Saunders. Or as Jeff said, you can go to stbaldricks.org and donate in a general sense, which is true and good and something to consider. But I'm just going to speak for my friend Jeff Saunders here. Pappy, Grandpappy, let's get him into those bars. All right. So support on that link, stbaldricks.participants. /participants/Jeff Saunders. Jeff, thank you for checking in as always. I love you, brother.
Thank you, Ken. Thanks for always every year like giving me a platform to help spread the word about this. It means a lot, and I don't know that I've said it before on here, but St. Baldrick's charity, they don't spend a lot on marketing. That way, they can put more of their
Right.
donations into the research. So we're their marketing department, and you do a beautiful job every year of helping me spread the word, brother.
Hey, I wouldn't have it any other way. It's literally a blessing to do it. And Thomas the Tall checking in, saying what I'm thinking. Jeff Saunders is a modern day hero and wonderful human. Support his effort, folks. He is. He absolutely is. Cheers, my friend. Get walking, okay?
Yes, sir.
There he is, Pappy, my good friend Pappy, checking in here. Absolutely, just a warm human being, and we're blessed to have him. But the people around him are blessed to have him as well. So thank you to anyone, LQ and others who may have donated directly today. That is a good thing, and you can hit it anytime. But let's before March 8th, let's help Jeff reach that goal of 1,500, so we can send him around on a pub crawl to raise money there. All right, we've got at the top of the hour 16 seconds of sports with producer Steve. We are open for calls too. If you want to call into the show, you know how you can do it. But if you don't, just in case you don't, I don't want to assume, you can become a channel member. And you can call in there with a link that's posted in the community tab or on Patreon at patreon.com/catnapsuck. Got some new members this weekend as I'm trying to get myself over 100 paid supporters again, like the old days. And we're getting there. Really appreciate that. But it isn't just about that. I want to hear from you tonight. So no calls lined up yet. So I'm going to vamp, as they say in the business. I'm going to talk about the earthquake last night. There was an earthquake last night in California. Now it's not rare, and I've said before, I actually quite enjoy a little rolling earthquake. I like the adrenaline burst. It kind of kicks in the old instincts, the first responders blood I have in me. It's fun. Last night's was not fun. Last night's it was 3.9. They said in North Hollywood, but the epicenter, this sounds like a Californian sketch, but the epicenter was actually more Toluca Lake, which is like a sister neck of the woods to Burbank. Toluca Lake's not its own city. It's on Los Angeles proper, but Burbank being its own incorporated city, its own big and growing city, it's right next to us. And last night, it was something. It was a rumbling, audible, shaky jackhammer to the entire house, and it hit once, boom, and you immediately think, what hit the house? Sometimes a pine cone comes down. I don't know. We've heard a squirrel fighting, but it was late at night, pushing towards 11 o'clock at night, and then that boom followed by, and there's that 2 seconds where you're like, what was that? That was weird. And then boom, 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 the whole house went up and down, up and down. Usually earthquakes are swaying and they're a fun little ride. This was quite scary. So 898-4M. We should do the earthquake report. Calling in now is 898-4Ed. Breaking news. How did the earthquake feel? Brady, call in. Let's get the earthquake report from you. It was at a weird time. Plus, the Oscars were happening last night as well. And I think a lot of people in town probably thought it was just the cocaine hitting there. Top of the hour will be 16 seconds of sports. Coop says, can't call in, but I will ask, what is your fussiest food opinion? Are you a picky eater? Yes, I am a picky eater, but I don't have any great examples. I'm a simple eater. I know what I know. I don't branch out, but I do like trying new things, and eventually I'll get there. Early 2000s was the foray into more like a wide open view of Japanese food. So you go to, and by that I mean sushi, some rolls. I'm a California roll guy. I don't apologize for it. I used to apologize for the California rolls. I don't care. They're divine. They're tasty. They're wonderful. Hell, I might get some for me tonight. I love a California roll. Is that adventurous? No, it was literally designed for non-adventurous eaters. But that was my first, early 2000s, small kid from the suburbs. Mom, not a great cook and didn't have an interest in it. Only at had things I always give her credit. What she cooked good. She doesn't give herself enough credit for it. Dad from the old school, half Ukrainian, half Circassian. My dad would eat the entire chicken, gizzards, heart, liver, everything. And so that kind of turned me off to any kind of adventurous eating. But I remember early 2000s was the first time I sat down and a girl, put some food in front of me that I was like, in my head, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to eat it. It was a quail egg. And I got through it. So in terms of just being fussy, I'm pretty simple. As Billy Business says, got to get Billy Business to call into the show. Everyone say hi to Billy Business. You know Billy from Fandom Screen Junkies back in the day, and also currently what I imagine is some cool wrestling podcast I'm forcing him to make. I am. When you're a 7-Eleven guy, it means you're not too picky. And I'll eat some things that fall on floors. I don't eat everything that falls on floors. I'm not going to lie. Last night, one of my Hawaiian bread rolls fell to the floor. I reached down and picked it up right away, brushed it off. I ate it because I only had like 2 Hawaiian rolls left, and I was not going to let one fall. Box Office Jack says, have you ever had the deep fried California rolls? I have. I have. I do love them, and I love all the variations on California rolls. Quail eggs, surprisingly common says JMB in Japan, and JMB would know over there. Deep fried sushi makes my brain turn off, says 8984. 7-second roll. Yeah, mine was 2 seconds. 2 seconds. There you go. Let me see if I can do this here. Hold on here. Billy, get your guns. Let me see. Normally that email address. Billy, if you want to talk John Cena's heel turn, let's do it together. I'm giving you a link. Fire up your camera. Come on. All right, we got the earthquake. While I'm waiting for Billy. Billy, get your guns. Hey, congratulations to Bador. Big things in our good friend Bador's life A lot of things going on, but don't worry, I can't even keep up. Kids, marriage, probably some pet I don't know about. Love it. All right, on the phone right now with our earthquake report. Breaking news from last night. 8984M, a.k.a. Brady, a.k.a. Kyra is here. Brady, where were you? What were you wearing during the earthquake?
So, you know how earthquakes can happen like anytime, right?
I do.
This is kind of a question since you're a former security officer, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the safest place to go if an earthquake happens when nature calls?
You know what? I'll tell you what. All the training in the world, I could tell you a doorway. I could tell you a bathroom. I could tell you under the table. I got to tell you, often it's the luck of the draw because if you stay in, you might go. If you run outside, you might go. And this is why when I would train, and I was someone as a public safety director, authored emergency response plans. Was responsible for taking a bunch of plans and putting them together for properties. People's lives depended on my words. And I always say, all the training, all the guides, all the response plans in the world, go out the fucking window the moment something happens. It's your instincts, your adrenaline, and you just got to go with it. Case in point, and I want to hear more from you, Brady, on the earthquake. I was at the Northridge Mall. This was 15 years ago. Earthquake hit during the afternoon. And me and one of the LAPD officers there ran outside, like, oh god! And we both stopped, and it was a quick one, and we both realized, well, that was stupid. We could have been squished. So I don't know, Brady. It's wherever you can find safety.
So if nature calls and happens while you're on the porcelain throne,
yeah,
you just gotta pray.
I had in the famous Northridge earthquake in 1994, which I didn't live down here then, but I missed by a week. I was visiting the week prior at my uncle's house. I had a good work friend whose like uncle was at 4:35 in the morning, or I think roughly around the time the earthquake hit. He was doing his business, sitting on the toilet, and that one was devastating. That one, people lost their lives. Yeah. It was a big one. And so it does happen. It does happen. You know, it does happen.
My stupid brain immediately thought of the splashback that must have happened.
Yes.
During.
That's where you go. The old whoop-a-doo, the water coming back up. All right. Good job. Good job. Good job. But I'm happy you're safe and sound. You've been through the earthquake game before though. But was last night like me? Any different? Last night's was a little rattling, pun intended.
Yeah, I honestly thought I was like, wait, is this really happening right now? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I never thought about it, but like when the big one hits, like where do you go if you're caught at a bad time? You know?
You just gotta hope for the best. Yeah, it's yeah, and yeah. J&B saying it. J&B out there in Japan probably has experienced earthquakes. Talking about a town that's ready for it. I've heard that people are often victims of falling debris outside. Tragic story. My hometown. And the neck of the wood, Paso Robles had an earthquake. This is maybe 15 years ago, so I didn't live up there anymore. But an earthquake hit, and two people ran out of their business, and the business was an old 1920s building, not up to code, and it collapsed on them. That if they had stayed inside, they would have been alive. Tragic. Not making fun of it, but tragic. But that's my answer to you, Brady, is grab what you can. Stay in place might be the best thing, but even then, I don't know. I don't know. All right, Brady.
I'm sure the old building codes, the bathroom is. I hope they secure that place. You know.
Yeah. Doorways. Find a table, or do what I did last night. And I was playing Fortnite, and my friend Ken Plume witnessed me go, "Oh, fucking shit!" so I don't know. All right, Brady. I got a call lined up here. I got to get to. But do you have one quick question point outside of the earthquake update?
No, not really. I guess I found out that the big one, you might be on the porcelain throne, and you might realize all the jokes you made about Elvis, probably shouldn't have made them.
There you go. Absolutely. Brady, stay safe. Okay. Jump under the table. Stay off the toilets.
Yeah.
All right. 898 for M. Brady, call it in. Bador says I should play Marvel Rivals. I've heard good things. And yes, and like I said, congratulations to our buddy Bador, one of my original Twitch Fortnite coaches, married and pregnant. There she is. Absolutely good news, Bador. We're so happy for you here. All right. We got some sports at the top of the hour, but right now we got some sports entertainment. And I think making his debut on the show here is a man with the hottest takes in the biz. They call him Billy Biz. We are one of only two ever TV fights full-time fact checkers in the world. Please welcome Billy Business to the show. Oh, Billy Patterson, how you doing, buddy? Oh, you're muted. Let me unmute. You got unmute your mic. There you go. Nope, you're still muted. You're still. Oh, there you go.
There we go. Yeah, best producer in the biz, right?
Hey, you're out of the game. You're out of the game a little bit.
Also, best dad in the biz because my kids are like on an iPad and in a playpen right now. So, yeah,
this is all we want. All right, so Billy, this was 20 years in the making. People have been calling this for a long time. At Elimination Chamber in Toronto on Saturday night, John Cena turned heel. Give us your hot take, Billy Biz view on this story.
All right. My initial gut reaction was, I hate every shred of this. I hate it. I hate it. But then I looked on it and I realized there was no other way. This had to happen. Look, you got Cody and Cena at WrestleMania. I think everyone knew that's what we were getting. I don't think anyone thought that wasn't going to happen.
Right.
But you run into a big problem. Cody is your guy. He is your 2009, 2010 Cena. Like,
right.
If they go into that match and Cena's like, I got to get that 17, you're going to get booed. Like, you're going to get some Cody boos. So
right.
What do you everyone talks about John Cena, the golden shovel, burying someone. The more I thought about it, this is the most selfless thing that John Cena has ever in his entire career, which is, I will turn heel, I'll get the heat, I'll win 17 so that I get that 17, but made it another hill for Cody to conquer. Because let's face it, ever since he took out Roman, he hasn't had like the most memorable title run.
The simplest truth about baby faces and wrestling, it's fun. The story when they're chasing is much more interesting, and it always is going to be the case. And you can make a title run interesting, of course. No judgment either way. And I've been like, and this is what's fascinating for me is I am a lifetime wrestling fan. Spent my years in and around the business. Know some people on the roster or in the building there, and I had tuned out for years, and I started to tune back in. The Netflix era, all this stuff I was brought in, and so I watched. And I've always loved Big Game John. On screen, behind the scenes politics, the Golden Shovel stuff, I never really knew or worried about it, but I've always loved him. But it was predictable, right? He's the aw shucks veteran who's coming back for those. And producer Steve says, please explain it to me. He doesn't follow wrestling closely. Cena has essentially not retired, but he hasn't been full time for years, right? Billy, how long, Billy, has he not been full time?
It's been about since 2015, 2016, give or take. So almost
a long time.
Yeah.
And he's been around and in and out, but he's not been full time since that time. He is one world championship win away from setting the all-time record, right? Beating Flair's mark?
Right. Flair has 15 world championships in his career.
So Cena's back full-time for what he comes back and announces in Toronto last year, like final months. This is his last Royal Rumble. This is his last Elimination Chamber, his last WrestleMania. But at one point, you got to give him the title. You got to give him number 17. And I think I'm with you. This is a great way to look at it. It's a good way to get it done. You want to try to control the narrative. You don't want to have to change it in the ring if they're going to boo Cody and that's going to mess up Cody. And I don't think it was expected. I was surprised. But when the moment started building, you're like, oh, are they going to do this? And the payoff of doing it, I thought was worth it, Billy, right? Like even over gut reactions. Have you just not wanted John to turn heel over the years?
I just, it's always like he was so sticking to his guns. It's like, that's not who I am. I am literally Mr. Make-A-Wish. He did a bunch of Make-A-Wish before the show that day.
Right.
So, like, there's a lot to it. And also just, the idea of like how long anyone who's watched wrestling, like they called him Super Cena. He never lost.
He never lost.
Booed a lot. And it was in the last maybe 2 years where audiences have come around to just appreciating John. So the fact that he's going into his last year, this is the last WrestleMania, the last time he's going to show up to a lot of these arenas, and just knowing like, I'm never going to get the cheers that I would have gotten, that I was, like, it's over. Like, to me, I think that's the most shocking part of it. It's like, I would love to know who talked John into this, if this was John's idea. I don't think it was John's idea. I think Dwayne was like, hey man, they kind of did the same thing to me last year. Pretty well for me. So I don't know. Also too, and obviously Star Wars nut, John's not going to leave this without his redemption story.
Yes.
Somehow he will redeem himself by the end.
Yeah. No, that's what and that's going to be an earned moment. And I think they're doing a good job with The Rock, who at times to me seems to be rubbing up against go away heat, especially in Hollywood. But I think he's one of the greatest heels of all time when he was a heel. And I think this is great. And I think it's just fun. And it's got me talking, it's got you talking, it's got people talking in a good way. It was fun to have that kind of big surprise when wrestling over the years can just, especially if you follow it and you know it, it can get predictable even when they're trying to do great, fun, out of the box things.
Right. Yeah. People are comparing this to when Hulk Hogan, 96.
Bash at the Beach, right? Yeah.
Hollywood Hogan. So I don't know. Very interested too. I think it's very interesting. He's got Peacemaker coming out.
Right.
He's got other things. So it's like, I'm always curious when it's like, you guys are going into junket season as heels. It's a little, if I was a publicist and didn't quite understand, like, are you sure you want to tell all these people they have STDs, but then also want them
to see your show?
Your show? Are you sure? Milwaukee's coming out and you're telling everyone they're hicks and hey, that's wrestling day.
That's wrestling. No, great breakdown there of it, Billy. Final thing here, then we got 16 seconds of sports, and you might have some of your one of your kids might be crawling out the backyard unsupervised. We always this show, the Blathering, goes a lot of different directions. Never planned. Sometimes it's deeply political, social issues, sports. Today, wrestling, which is something I love. So I love when our listeners are honest. And Osvetnik says, "Hey, look, I'll be honest. I've never understood the appeal of wrestling. Not yucking anyone's yum, but I just don't get it. Why do you all like it?" A fair question. Billy, in all our years, you and I have taken lunch breaks together or put $17 hamburgers into our mouths while we were hanging out. I don't know if we talked about this. We just know we like it. What do you love about professional wrestling?
I mean, again, look around me. Star Wars, Batman. I like good guys versus bad guys. And I think as simply as you can do it, I think, when wrestling really works, it's good versus evil, and eventually good always wins, which is why something like John Cena, he was your Anakin, he was your Superman turning evil, like, that's appealing. I'm not about like flips and holds, somersaults and stuff. It's like, just tell me a really good versus evil story.
I'm with you on it. Wrestling to me has always been this great storytelling art form. Is it carny based? Can it get bottom of the barrel? Are there things in the past that should be questioned, never done again? Absolutely. But I think you can apply that to a lot of entertainment. What has always appealed to me is this. It is a story playing out. It is the good versus evil as you're talking about. A Greek tragedy. It's Shakespearean rope drama. It's all of it. But when you pull in a crowd who's all in on it, by the way, it's a suspension of disbelief and the fun of that. Not unlike going to movies, but I've been there for those moments. I've been part of them as a booking team watching a story we put together in a Royal Rumble event of an 18-year-old local kid from Simi Valley who weighed $120 and was training. We put him in there and had him win this event. And the final person he eliminated was a 400-pound monster, and he barely pulled the rope down and got the monster out. And 300 people with tears in their eyes, 300 people screaming with joy. It was one of the best storytelling moments I had, and that was being part of it. But as watching it, it's the pomp of circumstance, but it is at the end of the day, you're in there for the story.
Absolutely, 100%.
There you go. All right, Billy. I'm joking a little bit, but when are we going to get a new podcast from you?
This was kind of it, man. Look, I'll say this: if anyone at your show ever listened or watched Hot Takes, I recorded a new episode. I did. I was going to do a revival. Now I recorded a new episode. I don't have it anymore. It just wasn't good. I never released it. I never edited it. It was a mess. So kind of just feel like leave it in the past, right?
Okay. I don't. Yeah. I mean, if the episode isn't to your standards, yes. But I think the world needs some mild takes from Daddy Biz. I don't know. I think we can get to it.
I'd rather listen to your show.
Oh, thank you, my friend. There you go. Thank you, Billy. I'll text you later, huh? All right, Billy Biz. Oh, sorry, Cam. Accidentally brought you in. We got a flash of Cam. Great stuff there. Yeah, thank you all for following me on that little journey there. And this is what the fun and challenge of doing the Blathering is. All the different areas we go, it's a lifestyle show, which is hard for YouTube to categorize, and sometimes hard for me to even categorize. I'm putting together a little clip reel kind of thing to kind of put on the channel to explain it a little bit better. So there you go. All right. My voice, I'm losing my voice today. I think I'm talking too deep. Let's go ahead and camera ready this guy up here. We've got producer Steve checking in. How you doing, buddy? I'm ready for this segment here.
I'm good, Ken. Thanks again for having me as always. Hope you're doing good too.
I mean, yeah, I'm okay. I might go get some California rolls tonight and I'll feel better. So you're not a big wrestling guy, right?
I'm not a huge wrestling guy. I watched it a lot as a kid. So I respect it, appreciate it. I'm not one of those like wrestling people. For me, it's just like it's more of like a bandwidth thing. I just haven't been disciplined on it. And there's so many things you have to watch now. I feel like you have to watch Raw and SmackDown and the pay-per-view things. And I'm sure there's a whole Twitter verse to it, or online verse to it. You know what I mean? So yeah. I got a lot going on.
It's Instagram Reels and stuff with WWE made it easier. I have not watched for like years until the Netflix Raw at the beginning of the year and these last two events. But I felt like I knew enough because of the Instagram Reels. But no, I'm with you. It's a bandwidth thing. And when Raw went to 3 hours, I remember thinking, I can't keep up with this.
Thing?
That was years ago. It might even be 2 now. I don't know. But there was a point where it went to 3 hours. And I was like, this is where it's like, I can't keep up with this anymore. So I feel you. All right. We are doing 16 seconds of sports. I think I've paid somewhat attention to some of the headlines, but surprise me. What do we have?
All right, here we go. 16 seconds of sports. Just to start off, 23 days until opening day. So just our little nugget there before we really get going. But here we go. 16 seconds of sports. Pete Rose's family, lawyer, and apparently President Trump are trying to get Rose off the ineligible list and into the Hall of Fame. Trump says he'll be signing a complete pardon for Rose. I don't know if Trump... Honestly, the worst thing for me about this is that Trump is going to ruin one of our great sports radio conversations by just ending it instead of just letting it happen. So now, next he'll probably put like Bonds and Clemens in the Hall of Fame, and then we'll really be pissed. Anyways, in football, Deebo Samuel was traded from San Francisco to Washington for a 5th-round pick. The Eagles are cutting Pro Bowl cornerback Darius Slay, and T. Higgins got the franchise tag from the Cincinnati Bengals for $26.5 million. And Matthew Stafford will stay with the LA Rams. There was some speculation about him being traded, specifically a romantic ski trip with Tom Brady, but he will be staying in Los Angeles. Jimmy Johnson is retiring from Fox Sports, which is an interesting retirement or an interesting announcement since they had that weird like deep fake AI video of him during the Super Bowl, like in the coverage leading up to it, this whole thing. And everyone was looking around like, are you retiring? And he said, no. It's like, well, you're not dead. You're still here. So why are we doing this whole... Anyway, so now we know what that was all about.
Yeah.
And then speaking of Jimmy Johnson, this is a weird NASCAR segue. Catherine Legg will be the first woman to drive in a NASCAR Sprint Cup series since Danica Patrick in 2018. No word on if Catherine also believes in shape-shifting reptiles running the planet the way Danica does. But this is her first NASCAR Cup Series race. She was formerly in IndyCar and in the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
This is great stuff here. I absolutely want to run straight up at the Trump stuff with Rose. Yeah, it would because the ongoing discussion, like I sometimes am on, the late great Pete Rose should not be in the Hall of Fame, or put him on the ballot, or hey, just put him in. And that doc we talked about it here. It changed my current views a little bit. But it just tracks for everything, because this entire administration is just one destructive troll party, and they're going to head right into stuff. The fact that Trump's like, I'm going to visit Area 51 and I'm going to put Rose in the Hall of Fame. It's like his entire administration is based on bar bets and bar conversations. It's so par for the course, and it would ruin things in a way. I don't know about that. What would he pardon him on? The tax evasion?
That's the question. What the hell is he pardoning him for? Complete pardon? I mean, I guess
it's the tax evasion, right?
But didn't he? Can you pardon someone for something that you served?
And then Rose served his time.
So what? Right? Like that's like double jeopardying a pardon. Like, what are we doing?
Is he going to sign an executive order that the president of the United States can control major league sports?
Don't
that his rules
on the internet. Now that's like on an algorithm somewhere, man. Like, great. Give it 2 days. Elon's gonna find that.
And then it's gonna become problematic, because he's gonna be like, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna give Armando Galarraga a perfect game. He threw it. We all knew it, and we're just gonna be like, no, you're ruining everything. Because we can't agree with you on that. I can imagine that he would sign an executive order that he outranks the commissioner of baseball.
Oh, absolutely. He'll just make himself the commissioner of baseball.
Yes. He's
czar or whatever.
He's head of the Kennedy Center, right? He's the chairperson now, right? So, yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate that. We're going to keep monitoring that one there. I'm interested, a quick football conversation. Yeah. LQ says, seriously? Yeah. The Darius Slay's actually, I don't know if the Dolphins can afford it, but we need defensive backfield help. I love the big trade. Deebo Samuel going to the Commanders for a 5th-round pick. I texted Mark Ellis. He's over the moon. That's how I know this was a good deal. Thoughts on a Deebo wide receiver, which is an official NFL position. We have one too, Tyreek, going to Washington.
That's a big get for Washington, just having a weapon like Deebo. Yeah, he can play as a great wide receiver, but he can also do fun things from the slot and as a running back. So it'll be interesting to see how they use him. Jaden Daniels will love having a reliable option like that. Scary Terry's getting a lot of work in all on his own in Washington. So there's not a whole lot of other big pieces like that. So that'll be cool for them. 5th-round pick is nothing at the end of the day. I mean, he is getting paid a lot of money. So that is the downside, if there is one, is he's not a young player and he is getting paid a lot of money, but Washington has the money to spend. They've got a ton of cap space. And this is one of those moves that's like, oh, if Deebo's going, then I'll go kind of thing. So has a domino effect to it where it just kind of proves Washington is a destination again. So
absolutely. Good for Washington. Ellis is over the moon. My buddy Eddie Pence, I'm sure, is over the moon. But yeah, absolutely. That's that thing. You need that one player to go. You need that one person to commit to Detroit, like they've had over the years, and one big trade, or Goff over there, and all right, hey, the team might have had some struggles for the last decades, but it's a winning place, and that's where we want to be. This could be it. Love it. 23 days to Major League Baseball's opening day, it's an international opening. So then we're going to have a couple days of spring training after that. My fantasy baseball draft's on the 23rd. I feel underprepared this year. We might have to do something about that.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll do right before opening day or the week before. We'll do some baseball recaps, or we'll go baseball heavy on one of these as a little spring preview for anyone doing fantasy, anything out there.
Love that. 898 for
fantasy baseball. I haven't done fantasy baseball in a long time.
Maybe we, it's still time to do a Blathering one here. 898 for him says, wait, football has 5 rounds. Football has 7, which has Rich T has added. But in my day, Brady, they used to have like 12 rounds. The draft was 12 rounds. I can't remember when it went to 7, maybe about 20, 25, 30 years ago. I don't know. But it was crazy. 12 rounds. Your team would get 12 players. They'd cut 8 of them, but they had 12 in the draft.
And it was spread over a whole weekend. It was great. It would be like 1:30 on a Saturday afternoon, and someone, there'd be like a 9th round pick being selected. It's amazing. So
yeah.
Now they do it all like one round on Thursday. They made it a whole primetime thing when they realized, oh, these idiots will watch. These guys will watch anything. They'll watch the draft. Oh yeah, we'll do this all on Thursday night.
And I haven't, again, coming back to football over the last couple of years, but really paying attention to the draft last year, I had kind of known, I knew they made it into a primetime event, but I remember texting McCougan Ellis, like, wait, they're only doing the first round tonight? No. I need. Give me 5 rounds a day. Like, let me do this a little differently. 0898 for Eb says, when you got your news from the newspaper, yes, you're right. I opened up a USA Today, flipped to the red sports section, not the purple life section, but the red sports section. Steve, any other final nuggets here, or have we completed 16 seconds of sport?
No, we had some good sports nuggets. So thank you, Ken, as always, for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you Thursday for some more sports indeed and other things in life. Bye, Steve.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, almost out of here. I know, Cam, if you're still out there, I know you were in there and you might have had to go, but please call back in. No trips with Brady. That's how my Dolphins lost their pick. That's right. Yeah, let's not bring up Tom Brady, Miami Dolphins, us losing picks, Brian Flores, anything related to that here. So I'll stick around for a few more minutes if anyone wants to call on in. Let's do it here. Otherwise, we'll be back Thursday. Maybe we'll have some science. I saw Addie's okay. Addie was in chat. I was conducting the interview, but I looked down. Addie was being chased by police, and then she's okay. And then she had to go. So all right, we'll see what's going on. So. All right. I think that's it. Cam, are you there? Cam, are you there? I want you to call back. You were there. You were waiting. I brought you up accidentally for a second. I gave you false hope. But hang in there. Let's see. I want to highlight a couple things here. As always, love supporting friends who do cool things. And that includes our buddy Ken Plume. You can go pick up his book. There it is. The Art of DuckTales. Order that now at bit.ly, bit.ly/DuckTalesBook. It's a deluxe edition. You can get that. Some great work there. And check out my friend Aaron Alexievich's graphic novel, Shock City. It's out there as well. Need some meditation? I think we all do. My buddy Scott has Blue Star Meditation. Find it on your favorite podcast catcher. And as always, our buddy Adam Knight, he has a great book series. Cowboy Ending is the first book of the Overdrive series. Get it wherever you get your books. I'm going to have Adam back on the show very soon. I'm trying to encourage him to talk about wrestling because he is an active pro wrestler. And I think he's got a lot of cool things to say. Rich T says, Ken, in 1939, the NFL draft was 20 rounds. In the 40s, it went up to 32 rounds, but then down to 17, then 12, then 7. I can live with that. It might have been a little different time, though. When the draft was at 32 rounds, it might have been because you went through about 32 players a year. So maybe that was a little bit about that there. All right, I'm out of here. I'm going to go enjoy my evening. You all have fun out there enjoying your evening. Cam, sorry we didn't get to you. Cut for time, like Matt Damon on a Jimmy Kimmel show. We'll make it up to you this coming Thursday, if you're around. Thanks for listening, everybody. If you're listening on the audio podcast, thank you for listening to the audio podcast. Had a great month. I know I shove a lot of podcasts down your throat, but please check out a Monday morning show. The audio form is available to everyone, and YouTube channel members and Patreon members get the video version. Appreciate your all's response to that show. We'll see you next time. Bye.